You're watching KCCI 8 News.
Right now at 10, it's been 16 years since RAGBRAI rolled into Des Moines. Emily Price is live downtown with a look at the festivities. Plus, a routine procedure at one animal clinic turns tragic. What happened when one dog slipped away? And the unusual discovery on the trails of RAGBRAI.
If you're diagnosed with Parkinson's, it's not a death sentence.
How one Iowa scientist used the ride to help patients all across the country.
Now, from Iowa's news leader, this is KCCI 8 News at 10 in high definition.
Hey, good evening, everyone. RAGBRAI organizers knew this day would be a big one.
But they had no idea it would be this big. Emily Price is live in downtown Des Moines with thousands of RAGBRAI revelers. Emily?
Some 24,000 people participated in RAGBRAI today. Could possibly be a record. Now, thousands of those riders and thousands of their closest friends are packing the downtown bridges and living it up.
It's been 16 years since RAGBRAI overnighted in Des Moines, so that's a lot of pent-up partying. The Walnut Street and Court Avenue bridges were bustling with worn-out riders and amped-up looky-loos.
I wish I were rode. I didn't ride.
People like Joseph Browner who see how much fun a ride through the countryside looks and regret not hopping on.
It's a great way to see Iowa from the seat of a bicycle.
Waterworks Park is lined with tents where people will sleep through the night. The bridges are lined with tents too. Places where you can experience Google Glass and discover RAGBRAI has free Wi-Fi.
And they noticed that problem, and so we thought about, well, what can we do? And so we decided to hook up a satellite dish to a couple of RVs and follow RAGBRAI along and give people access to the internet.
The cycling didn't stop at Des Moines' Welcome Mat. These legs kept on pumping, offering a free charge to anyone who found themselves disconnected.
We've had quite a few people saying that their phones are dead and that they've been riding all day or whatnot, and maybe they didn't get a charge last night, so they're coming over checking their phone.
People like Carl Gilbertson unplugged on purpose.
It's a lot kind of busier than I thought it would be.
As the beer flowed and the bands played,
they're calling them, I'm singing them.
Gilbertson buried himself in a book, shutting out what thousands of others waited so long to take in.
It's time to relax for a little bit in the sun.
Yeah.
This is the time for relaxing, yep.
You can probably hear that a band is still playing behind me tonight. That's the band Everclear. They're supposed to wrap up here in just a few minutes because then after that, a huge fireworks show is going to take over. Kevin and Stacy.
All right, Emily, thank you. Before riders celebrated in downtown Des Moines, many enjoyed Valley Junction. The stop in West Des Moines had bicyclists exploring the shops and the galleries in the historic district, and vendors lined the streets selling everything from bicycle jewelry to candied bacon and pork chops on a stick. Live music played all day. It was the biggest street party Valley Junction had ever seen. And even before the metro, thousands enjoyed the party in Dallas Center. The town got some grief for wanting to set up a ring for dwarf wrestling, but the event drew one of the biggest roadside crowds. The main drag also had vendors selling turkey legs and cinnamon rolls. There was even a dance party for riders to enjoy. As thousands pedal through Des Moines, they probably have no idea about the medical breakthrough that was discovered on RAGBRAI. And the doctor who discovered it has given Parkinson's patients a whole new outlook for managing their symptoms. Coming up later in this newscast, Todd Magel shows us how the Iowa native discovered it and how much the treatment can help.
Well, tomorrow the riders will roll out of Des Moines and head down south to Knoxville. The almost 50-mile day takes bikers to the state fairgrounds and then through the towns of Adelphi, Runnels, and Monroe before ending in Knoxville for another night of fun. As riders pedal out of Des Moines tomorrow, expect morning traffic delays. We'll take a look at the outgoing route as officials say you should avoid Fleur Drive from Waterworks Park to MLK, as well as East Walnut and East 30th. The remainder of the downtown area will be open for normal traffic flow. Checking in with Matinka Slater now. Can bikers expect some good weather for the night and that route tomorrow, Matinka?
Yes, beautiful weather overnight. No storms. It's going to be quiet and cool. Right now, 71 in Des Moines, 66 in Ames, 64 in Carroll. So already northern Iowa especially starting to cool right down. So here's what they can expect as they get the early start tomorrow morning. 6 a.m. wake-up call, temperature near 58 degrees. Might even be a little bit of patchy fog. Then sunshine for 7 a.m., 60 degrees, 64 at 8 a.m. with sunrise at 6:02 and just a light east breeze, 3 to 8 miles per hour. And for the rest of your Wednesday, it looks fabulous, kind of like check today with more sunshine. By noon, temperatures into the mid-70s, headed for a high tomorrow, 82 degrees.
Mateka, thanks a lot. New for you tonight, Iowa Congressman Steve King is drawing some criticism for comments he made about illegal immigrants. It was last week that King told the website Newsmax, quote, "For everyone who's a valedictorian, there's another 100 out there that weigh 130 pounds, and they've got calves the size of cantaloupes because they're hauling 75 pounds of marijuana across the desert." Well, among the critics, Florida Democrat Joe Garcia. He called King's comments beneath the dignity of this body and this country.
A former teacher is facing charges of abuse. 72-year-old Lee Nelson, a former Harlan school teacher, was charged today with sexual exploitation by a school employee and assault with intent to commit sexual abuse. DCI investigators say Nelson inappropriately touched a 17-year-old female student in October of last year. He resigned 3 months ago.
A rare case of suspected bigamy in Des Moines, as Polk County authorities have charged 39-year-old Christy Thomas with bigamy after they say she wed one too many men. Maxie Smith told police he wed Thomas in May and then learned that she was still married to someone else. Thomas is being held at the Polk County Jail with a $1,000 bond. And a follow-up tonight on the Norwalk crash that we told you about yesterday. One child was sent to the hospital, and authorities now say they are looking into possible charges against the driver. The impact of the crash left a hole in the car's windshield. Luckily, officials say the boy has non-life-threatening injuries. Witnesses tell us the two boys were riding their bikes when one of them was hit by the car.
The FDA is now investigating the rare foodborne parasite plaguing some Iowans. The CDC says the cyclospora infection has now been reported in Iowa, Nebraska, Texas, and Wisconsin. More than 200 people overall, 108 of them in Iowa, have come down with the illness that causes prolonged diarrhea. The Food and Drug Administration says it isn't clear yet whether the cases are linked between states.
Well, we brought you news of the plans last night at 10, and today Polk County supervisors decided to put the Polk County Courthouse bond measure on the November 5th ballot. Total project cost is estimated at $89 million. It would renovate the courthouse and remodel the jail into a criminal court annex, convert an old J.C. Penney's that was later used by Wellmark into a county justice center annex. A $132 million courthouse improvement referendum failed back in 2008, but supervisors say the current plan is the most reasonable and cost-effective way to give the building a boost.
New tonight, a Central Iowa family takes their beloved dog in for a routine veterinary visit when something goes terribly wrong.
The animal ran off, and then things got much worse. Patrick Bell reports that the family wants some answers.
For little Mojo, it was supposed to be a routine procedure.
He was going to get neutered, and he was going to get a microchip, and he was going to get shots.
But what happened next has left a family heartbroken.
I mean, take him there one time, and he's gone. Like, how does that happen?
Courtney Knapp's sister, Mojo's owner, was too emotional to talk about what happened Monday, she says, here at Furry Friends Refuge in West Des Moines.
They said that they had taken him outside, and when they took him outside, they didn't grab the leash fast enough, and then he ran off.
Unfortunately, this dog was scared, was being held, and was on a leash at the time, and got spooked and startled and jumped, and then was able to make it off the leash.
Britt Gagne is volunteer manager for Furry Friends Community Spay Clinic.
We stopped doing everything at the shelter, and we sent out all employees and all volunteers to search.
But darkness and storms forced the search to be canceled. Then, Tuesday morning,
I got a phone call from a police officer saying that he had found a dog.
Mojo, the family says, had been struck and killed either on or near the 73rd Street entrance ramp onto I-235 eastbound.
All she wanted to do was just get him fixed. She wasn't expecting to go through all of this.
Patrick Bell, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Folks at Furry Friends say it was simply a tragic accident. The Knapp family tells us that Furry Friends has offered to pay for Mojo's burial.
It was the moment everyone was waiting for. The world got its first glimpse of the royal baby. Prince William and Kate left the hospital in London carrying the 8-pound, 6-ounce baby. The infant is third in line to the throne. The royal parents say they're excited to get to know their little boy.
He's got a good pair of lungs on him, that's for sure. He's a big boy, he's quite heavy.
It's very emotional, it's such a special time. I think any parents, I think, will probably sort of know what this feeling feels like.
Prince William says the couple is still working on a name for the child. The couple took their little guy home to Kensington Palace. Still ahead tonight, amidst the long days of pedaling, camping, and fun, one Iowa scientist cycled upon a treatment that's helping hundreds manage Parkinson's disease. Todd Magel has that story next.
Hi, Kevin and Stacy. Tomorrow on KCCI 8 News This Morning, Kim St-Ange will be live at Waterworks Park to see the RAGBRAI riders as they leave. Plus, we'll tell you which way they're headed so you can avoid getting stuck by thousands of bicycles. And 3 reasons why our already high gas prices are about to go even higher. That's all on KCCI 8 News This Morning. Hope you can join us from 4:30 to 7.
News at 10 with Kevin Cooney, Stacy Horst, Chief Meteorologist John McLaughlin, and Sports Director Andy Garman. This is KCCI 8 News at 10 in high definition.
It's like a miracle.
Now, these bike riders don't ride on RAGBRAI, but a doctor who did discovered an amazing way to help people with Parkinson's disease. Like many medical breakthroughs, it was a happy accident.
Listen to this. The simple act of pedaling a bike can reduce the symptoms of Parkinson's by more than 35%. Todd Megal talked to the doctor who made the discovery. Todd.
Kevin and Stacy, that doctor was riding RAGBRAI 11 years ago when he noticed his friend on the back of his tandem bike, a friend with Parkinson's, felt much better after being forced to pedal on a vigorous ride. Turns out it's no coincidence. This is what comes to mind when you think of RAGBRAI.
Keeping it going?
Not this, but there is a connection. These Parkinson's patients and their friends pedaling at the YMCA Healthy Living Center in Clive have RAGBRAI to thank for help in controlling the disease.
It's surprising me. I mean, it's awesome, you know, and I do better when I go to a class rather than trying to do it on my own.
LaDonna Mullender and her classmates are cycling for neuro wellness.
And now let's get some of that quicker round pedaling motion going.
Personal trainer and RAGBRAI veteran Bill Roach coaches the class.
A typical Parkinson's patient's going to want to pedal at 40 or 50 RPMs, and my job is to kind of get them pedaling more like 70 or 80 RPMs when possible, because that's when we get the best effect from the exercise.
The theory? Forced or faster pedaling helps the brain better control movement disorders caused by Parkinson's.
Thanks very much for having me.
And the former Iowa scientist who discovered it by accident on RAGBRAI is spreading the word here this week at Methodist Medical Center.
The pedaling has a very similar action on the brain as medication.
Dr. Jay Alberts, who is riding RAGBRAI this week, has been researching his findings at the Cleveland Clinic for more than a decade. It's not a cure, but
this intervention could be a candidate for something that could be neuroprotective or slow the disease down.
Now the YMCA is hoping more people with Parkinson's try the neuro wellness class.
And they love being here, and most importantly, they tell me that when they go home, they feel better.
Just ask LaDonna.
It'd be huge for somebody who doesn't know about it to come and just try it out.
Because, as the saying goes,
it's just like riding a bike. That's right. Hop on and try it.
Now, one important note, the benefits of cycling don't seem to work as well if you pedal on your own. It is that forced pedaling at a faster rate, and that, Kevin, really seems to be the key.
This is fascinating to hear about all this. What you wonder whether if there are other motor problems, so to speak, out there that somebody might have, if this would help those as well.
They think it might. In fact, there are other people with other problems in that class that's trying to research to see if other diseases could benefit from this brain pedaling motion.
All right, Todd, thank you.
Well, we had a great break from the heat today. We're hoping it's going to continue, Matinka.
Yeah, it really will. An extended period of comfortable temperatures plus more rain chances. It's all in your Super Doppler forecast.